Good morning. And it's my honor to be here today with all of you. We designed this webinar, Get Your Asian Restaurant into SOBE, because I have a couple of friends ask me about how to get involved with the Prestige South Beach Wine Food Festival, not only as a customer, guest, but also as the restaurant owners. So we designed this webinar to cover how your restaurant can get exposure, connect with food industry leaders, celebrities, and attract new customers through the high-profile culinary festival. And I look around, I can find no better person than Professor Mohammed Qureshi, who can cover all this information. Mohammed is one of my best friends. I've known him for like almost 15 years, right? When I came here 2010 as a graduate student. And then after I graduated, we soon become good friends. We traveled, around Asia, including mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau. So he's full of experience in restaurants, higher education, and also South Beach Wine Food Festival. So Mohammed, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Thank you, Fang. I really appreciate the introduction. Good morning to all of you. It is my pleasure to be part of this webinar and Zoom call and to discuss the opportunities for South Beach Wine and Food Festival. And in fact, I want to be part of your organization going forward, as I have the only background besides higher education I have is in the restaurant business. When I came from Pakistan back in a long time ago, I started working in the restaurant industry. Spent a lot of time working as a line cook as well, and as a kitchen manager, assistant manager for casual dining services. And so with that, after that experience, I came over to FIU, and I got involved in working at FIU and teaching and doing things. As Fang mentioned, we have done a lot of work in China as well. But South Beach Wine and Food Festival is something that I became part of it in 1997 when it started out as a one-day event at the campus. It was called Wine Extravaganza. And the purpose of the event was to have a wine and food tasting, at the same time raise money for the chaplain school. Back then it wasn't chaplain school, but for hospitality management program. In 2002, the current director was hired in 2001, and he saw that his name is Lee Schrager, and he works for Southern Glacier Distributing Company. And he saw that this festival has a lot of potential. And he decided to move it to South Beach and call it South Beach Wine and Food Festival. I've been part of it since then as well. When we came to the beach for the first time in 2002, I had a small position working in it. I worked as a volunteer. I worked as an assistant to the dean. I worked at setting up tables. Whatever it was needed, I did back then. And then as the festival continued to grow, my position in it continued to grow as well. I have worked in it as a logistic manager. I was in charge of the inventory management for 2 or 3 years in a row. And then after that, as my predecessor retired, I became the liaison from the dean's office on the South Beach Wine and Food Festival committee. And then a few years down the road, I became part of a staff that works year-round on planning, organizing, coordinating, every aspect of managing the festival. Even though currently, due to my full-time position at FIU, my role is pretty, not as big as it used to be, but I'm still part of the planning committee and also a small group. We call it the internal staff, and we start planning for the next festival the week after. So as you know, this week is our 24th South Beach Wine and Food Festival. Starts on Thursday, February 20th. And believe it or not, next week, we will start planning for 2026, which will be our stellar year. It will be the 25th anniversary of Wine and Food Festival, South Beach Wine and Food Festival. I was there when we did the 5-year anniversary, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, and now we're 25-year. It is an amazing undertaking. It has a lot of moving parts to it. When we started out, it was only 1 or 2 day event, and then it grew into this multi-days event throughout Miami, not just South Beach. We have events now in Coconut Grove. We have events throughout Miami Beach, South Beach, and sometime as far as up in the area of North Beach, or what do you call it, Bal
Fort
Harbor.
Lauderdale? I
Yeah,
remember there is one or two events in Fort Lauderdale before.
Fort Lauderdale as well. Yeah, we used to be, not anymore, because every year we review how well we're doing, and currently I think there are over 90 different events.
Mm.
And some of these events obviously include walk-around tastings. That's how it started, where guests, once they come in, buy the ticket, they can walk around and taste all kinds of food, and also different types of spirits and wines, beer to go with that. That's how we call them walk-around events. And then the second category is the dinners, where you buy dinner for 2 or dinner for 4, and your dinners includes at least definitely a reception with hors d'oeuvres, and then you sit down, and there is always wine or champagne to go with the hors d'oeuvres, and then you sit down for at least 3 to 4 course meal, and at every meal, every course has this wine to go with it, and so at the end of the night, you are very happy with your experience of, especially if you're a wine and food connoisseur. Dinners are mostly organized around the wineries, and they focus on each winery. Now we also have something we call wine seminars, which been going on for some time, which are designed to give wine people, wine connoisseurs, a little more, information and education. Then we started something called master classes, where we create a sushi masterclass or empanada masterclass, or where the guests come in and they learn about making that product or its background, and then at the end they get a lunch or some kind of food and tasting of the product as well. So there is master classes, and then there are a few other events that I don't have time to go into detail, but it takes a lot of people to plan, organize South Beach Wine and Food Festival. It is a very successful undertaking, and I'm seeing that in town, a lot of people are trying to copy it or emulate it. But in any case, I'm here to answer any question, and also to share my experiences, provide you information on, or Fang will also have that information on how you can become part of South Beach Wine and Food Festival. We would love to have Asian restaurants bringing in. We have had Asian restaurants come in. We have an event that is organized just around the Asian restaurant called Asian Night Market, which is similar to what they have in Hong Kong, like street food, and which is a huge tasting. And then with that, we have beverages. So you can get, every event is all inclusive. Once you get in, then you can have as much drinks and food you like, because there's just 3 hours or 4 hours of just amazing learning and fun. There's always music and games. So I would like you to look into Asian Market Nights, and definitely an event that you can become part of it. But don't forget, we also have grand tastings on Saturday and Sunday, which are their own amazing events, and I'll be glad to share more thoughts on how you can become part of grand tasting. But the idea is that you are promoting your restaurant, by providing tasting samples of your food, and you're also making connections with the customers, with the other restaurateurs in the area, with the chefs, with the wineries. And so there's a lot of benefits to it, but I'll let Fang guide the discussion further.
Yeah, we'll go to the details. Thank you, Mohammed, for providing the history of South Beach Wine Food Festival. It's crazy, like you were involved in day one, actually.
Yes, I've been
You
part of
kind of
it from the
see
day
this
one.
festival start from a baby to now 90 different events, 4 days, almost like a week events for like 25 years. That's amazing. Yeah. No wonder you have to plan this event a year for
Oh yeah,
for
it takes 51 weeks to plan for the 52nd week.
yeah, that's great. So I've collected some questions. So I'm going to ask you on behalf of the friends of the Asian American restaurants who cannot be here today. So they have definitely heard about South Beach One Food Festival, right? But they want to know a little bit more about it. I believe you just covered a lot of information. I first want to tell all the audience about my personal opinion, right? Um, Most people think this festival is a commercial festival. So you are there to eat and drink. So that's most people perceived about this festival. But actually, there's one component we cannot ignore. It's called educate. South Fiji One Food Festival. In my philanthropy class, I always teach students like this is a philanthropic event because all proceeds goes to FIU Chaplain School of Hospitality and Tourism Management to benefit students. In addition, it helps the local economy and by helping promote the local restaurants, right? So this festival is more than just an eat and drink festival, but has a lot of meaningful components. That's why I like South Beach One and Food Festival a lot. And then I have been volunteer at this festival for at least like 13 years, I believe. So uh Mohammed, just tell us like why it is important for restaurants, especially Asian restaurant. They're working very hard, but they kind of don't know how to leverage themselves, gain exposure. Can you give us some of your suggestions?
Sure. So as you mentioned that the festivals, purpose is of course to eat, drink, and educate. So over 12 to 1300 of FIU students volunteer at the festival. And these students are studying, all different types of education. But in their education, they're learning about how to, deal with the customers, how to check customers in, how to provide them guidance, how to serve them. And so there's a lot of learning that takes place in it. And also from the food side, they're helping with chefs, they're helping the wineries. Um, and then you're absolutely right that the main purpose of the festival is not truly a commercial, but rather philanthropic, as it raises money for the FIU Chaplain School. $40 million is unheard of. I don't think it's unprecedented. I don't think there's any such undertaking or any such festival that has raised that kind of money for a local university and the school. There is no example of that. Having said that, the restaurants who get to participate, and sometimes we say no to them because it's kind of hard to accommodate all the restaurants and all the chefs. But to me, it's a celebration of food and wine, and it gives local restaurants and local chefs a platform to really outshine or also to promote. Because when people stop by your booth and they're getting a sample, you can also give them a business card where they can find you in Miami or related area, of course, where your restaurant is. And we've had a situation where some of the restaurants, some of the local chefs have become so well popular that outside their restaurant, they would put up a banner saying that we participated in South Beach Wine and Food Festival. Or when they're promoting or sending their flyer to the local people, you could say that, hey, we've been, or we were the winner of a contest at the Wine and Food Festival. But the whole idea is that at the grand tasting, we get about 6,500 paying guests, attendees, On top of that, we have another about 2,000 to 3,000 people working, participating, other vendors, other sponsors. So they all get to see your name. Now, the value you can put on it yourself is when you are doing advertising, when you're doing marketing, when you're doing social media, how many people get to see your brand, not only get to see your name, your brand, your location, but also get to taste the kind of food that you serve. Because each Asian restaurant, have their own uniqueness to it. They add to it. So I believe that that's just grand tasting. If you go to the night events, such as night market, you have about 4,000 attendees coming in, and they are looking at your product, they're looking at your banner. Wine and Food Festival will give you a signage, a big banner, so that everyone will see it. They will also put your name onto the website, onto the event. When you go to the website and you click on it, a lot of people look at who's participating. What are the restaurants? I sometimes eat something and I say, oh, wow, I want to go visit this restaurant. I want to
Exactly.
try their
Yeah.
menu out, So it is definitely, as I said, promoting, advertising, but also networking. It is important that we network in this industry and we look at what other restaurants are doing, what other chefs are doing. It's not a competition for me, rather than, unless we are running a competition where we're saying that, the best bite or best burger or the burger bash, there are some sort of a competition. But even if it's not a competition, you're working next to people, you're looking at their product. So I think there are a lot of benefits to it. And then, of course, Dr. Shu will tell you that you get reimbursement for some of the food that you get. We pay you little money to cover your costs. It's not like we are insensitive to the fact that you are spending your time and money. And so basically, we have some restaurants who want to come in, but we don't always have enough room for everybody. So
Right.
if you're interested in joining, we will definitely bat for you. Both Dr. Shu and I will go to the person and say, hey, we have such and such restaurant in Fort Lauderdale or in Miami or Wynwood or Doral or Coral Gables, and they have would like to participate. And sometime if you have a chef, you want to promote the chef, we can also put the chef's picture in there, not just the restaurant. So it all depends, what you want to, but we will give you exposure. Wine and Food Festival will give you an exposure.
I think one thing I want to add is, Mohammed, thank you so much for sharing all these benefits. Like definitely we're gonna gain exposure, and for networking, like purpose, that's all amazing. But also I think the restaurant can connect with our amazing students at FIU. A lot of times the chefs in the restaurant telling me, wow, the FIU students are amazing. We're looking for future leaders to manage our restaurant, to work with us. I find the right person. So I would say that's also one of the benefits that for your restaurant to participate in South Beach Wine Food Festival. It's also very funny, Mohammed, you're talking about like they get some stipend or reimbursed. We can go to the details later. But I think a lot of events, like if they ask you to pay, like even you participate, you actually have to pay to rent a space. But South Beach Wine Food Festival is not, right? It depends. But for some activities, events, Mohammed just mentioned, you get paid by your time and the food ingredients. So that's a great deal. But we do have a high standard. We want to, like, this is a great example. Like we're kind of giving you some insights. Later on, we can do like an internal evaluation to tell you how you can meet the standards of SOBE, so we can help you improve. Even you don't participate in South Beach Wine Food Festival, your restaurant can be like improving by the guidance we provide to you. Okay. So Mohammed, so what type of opportunities exist for restaurant? I know you mentioned about grand tasting, village and Asian night. So just give us more information, like what they're going there to do food tasting, or like even after South Beach One Food Festival, do they have opportunity to partner and their sponsorship opportunities? Can you give us a little bit more information?
Oh, of course. So, you can come into Wine and Food Festival in many different ways. So one of the ways is the sponsorship, which is a company. Usually, if you look at the website, you will see a whole bunch of sponsors. And sometimes like our biggest sponsor is Food Network. Food Network and Cooking Channel. And then we have the Capital One credit card. Sometimes we have American Airline, So we have companies who look at how many people. For the entire weekend, we have about 55,000 people attending, participating. Now that, if you put into perspective, that's all the people that go to Disney parks in one day. So looking at, we got all these people. So sponsors come in, and we currently have about sponsorship. We raise money in the amount of close to $6.8 million. And that sponsorship, of course, is available to anyone who would like to sponsor and have their name, have their brand, have their, be exposed. And sponsorship comes at different levels, which we can turn you over to the sponsorship manager if you want to come as a sponsorship. Okay, like a platinum level, gold level, and all that different levels sponsorship coming. But I invite you to go to the South Beach Wine and Food Festival website and look at the sponsorships, all the companies that are sponsoring. The second level that you can come in as, we call it, someone who's exhibitor. As an exhibitor, if you have a product, let's say you are bringing in product from a different country, and you have a sauce or something that you want to showcase at the grand tasting. Exhibitors are mostly only at the grand tasting, where exhibitor like Goya is not sponsoring, but they are a big exhibitor. They bring in their product, right? And we used to have a company called Badia. So they would bring their product and they are showcasing their product. But at the same time, we ask anyone who is participating must serve some kind of food. You cannot just say that, oh, here's my noodles, or here's a mushroom, or here's something that I'm providing, but you gotta serve a sample of food with it too. You want to give people something portion to eat. So there is a sponsorship, there is exhibitor, and then there are chef participants. And then lastly, we have the restaurant participants.
Yeah.
So you can come in as, as one of those levels. Obviously, as a restaurant, since we're talking in your organization, a lot of the Asian restaurants in South Florida area. And when you come in as a restaurant, you are not asked to provide any money, obviously, because you're not coming in as a vendor. We ask vendors to provide money. They have to give money because they are marketing their product directly. But as a restaurant, we don't ask you to provide money. In fact, we give you, like a little bit of a money so that we can help you with your cost of providing the samples, right? So we have flyers, and Dr. Shu will share those flyers with you. They explain more in details how you work with the restaurants. And this is the flyer that is designed just for the restaurants. Participation requirement guidelines, chef product support, staffing and credentials. How many people can you bring with you when you bring food? Usually you get about four credentials. So you can bring in 4 people to work the event. And then we also provide you 1 or 2 students to give you as volunteer to help you organize, help you cook your product, help you serve your product. Most of the time, we are asking guests to, have a little bit of a prep done at the restaurant and then do the finishing on site. So for instance, let's say if you want to serve a dumpling, and so you could bring a dumplings already prepared, but then you would boil them, either fry them or pan fry them or saute them or whatever on site. And so we will provide you with all of the equipment of your choice. If you said, I need a stove, I need a refrigerator or whatever, we will provide you all that. We will help you load in when you come in. We will help you bring your product into your booth. The student volunteer and other volunteer will help you get organized. We will provide you with all the dry goods, such as plates and napkins and fork. You don't have to bring any of that. So basically, you're just asked to come in with the samples. Now, we do ask for at least 2,000 to 3,000 samples of whatever you're gonna serve. So if you're serving a spring roll, or an egg roll, then basically you will say, hey, I'm gonna need a fryer, or I'm gonna need a stove because I'm boiling it there, and then or frying it there, and then we will provide you with the stove, and we will provide you with all the dry goods. So all you gotta do is bring in 2,000 spring rolls, and then you fry it and you serve it with the sauce, and, and then as people come in, you just put it on the counter and they take the product. So basically, as a restaurant, that's the way you do it, whether you're doing at the grand tasting or you're doing at the Asian night market. We're mentioning these two events mainly because these are very, what I call a flexible event. And at the grand tasting, we have all kinds of restaurants, from local restaurants, mainly local restaurants. We will have about, I think, 45 to 50 local restaurants coming in at the grand tasting. The night events, such as Asian night market, because we got these names from the Food Network, Andrew Zimmern, Jet Tilla, and Arti Segura, we may have some celebrity chefs, but we will also have a lot of local chefs and local restaurants participating. So, people come in because of these names. They want to see these people, to have pictures taken with them. But when they're in there, they are trying out your sushi or your spring roll or whatever that you feel that you're comfortable serving. So obviously, all of those things make a difference.
Yeah. So if you look at this flyer, they said, the festival will provide up to 750 for this Asian night market. I believe for grand tasting, it's like somewhere about like 900. I remember.
Yeah, it's a little bit more for grand tasting. Yeah, $900.
Right.
We call it a stipend.
Right.
We will ask you to send us an invoice, and we will send you a check from FIU.
Okay. So only one dish is required, right? You don't have to provide.
Yes, no. You're only serving one dish, but you have to prepare whatever number of items that they ask for. So here they're asking for 2,000.
2,000.
2,000 samples of 3 to 4 ounce. So it cannot be just a very tiny sample either. People have to be able to eat it either in 1 bite or 2 bite. I prefer myself 3 bites. So that, if you're serving, your very special noodles, you'll have a bowl, you will put the noodles in there, But I know that a lot of time the concern is that how am I going to get this done? Well, we would like you, Dr. Shu and I would like you to come in maybe this weekend, purchase a ticket. We've gotten a very special discount for you all. We got a 20% discount.
Best you can
It could
find.
answer a lot of your questions if you came in and saw the event yourself. Even though, and also, by the way, we will have videos to share with you as well. So you could see, how much like a party, these events are like party. There's music, there is a lot of fun. People can get the drinks that are being sponsored there. There are bars. It's over 21. Obviously, we don't allow anyone under 21 to be in because of the libations, because of the alcohol that we're serving, because of the liquor license that we got. Remember, it's called South Beach Wine and Food Festival. So wine and spirits come first, and we design those to sort of complement your food.
Right. Good. So definitely, I think, it's a great suggestion, Mohammed. I will be at the Asian night market on Sunday night. So I hope to see all of my friends there. Like he mentioned, we have negotiated a really good discount like 20% discount for the tickets. So I think the tickets is about $165. So then it will save a lot by using the discount. I'll share with you later. So stay here, please. So my next question is, what steps should Asian restaurant take to apply and get selected? We know the standard is kind of high, right? So
Just waking you up.
what's the steps? Internally, I would say I wanted at this moment, I already figured out a way. I want to invite Mohammed, and we're gonna do like internal application. Maybe we will try your samples and to give you suggestions, and
Yeah.
we'll help you meet the requirement. But generally speaking, like what are the requirements? How do they apply, Mohammed?
Oh, how do they apply for that? Well, basically,
Know the right person?
know the right person, and also, give yourself enough time. So we are now
Right.
talking about 2026.
Mm.
Sometime in the fall of 2025, sometime like, September, October, we send out the invitations for the restaurants, local restaurants. So we will connect you with our very good alumnus and a friend named Ted. Ted handles all of the local chefs and restaurants. And once we turn over you to Ted, he will provide you with a contract and agreement, and obviously we will give our personal recommendation that we know you will be there, because your commitment is very important. You cannot at the last minute back out of it, because
Right.
we don't have, it takes a lot of time for us to get your marketing, get you onto the website, plus do your signage. We provide you with a very beautifully done signage that we pay for. So we're gonna do all that, and if you say, oh, I cannot do it, then we obviously have a very big disappointment, and you don't want to, Dr. Shu and I, to look bad. So
Right.
commitment is important, but you will know sometime in October of this year if you're participating, and after that, it's your time to start planning. Your name will start to show up in the website. So when the website is launched sometime in October, your restaurant name will be there. And as soon as people see the website, they go on there and they look at, oh, what are the restaurants coming in? So you're getting exposure starting as early as the website. And then we do a few other marketing efforts where we're doing a lot of social media. We're directing all of the traffic to the website. So obviously, you could see that by going on the website right now and looking at Asian Night Market or Grand Tasting as to what type of restaurant that are coming in. You may know some of those local people, and as Dr. Shu said, we will make sure, our goal is to get as many of you into the event. Obviously, we can't promise everybody will get in, because it's a limited amount of stations we have. And of course, the preference is given to the celebrity chefs, or even some of the local, very well-known chefs. But the restaurants are welcome. Dr. Shu will tell you, one of our friend has a restaurant. They graduated from FIU. They're Temple Street in Fort Lauderdale. They've been participating, for the last 5-6 years. And they participate for the many reasons, obviously, because they're alumni, but they're also participating because their restaurant has grown in itself. They're launching another. They launched another location in Pembroke Pines at a
Right.
food hall. So the whole idea is that it's a hard work for one weekend, but I think benefits are there.
Yeah, it's definitely a great channel. I would feel like, oh, this restaurant is great because they're a South Beach One food festival, right? And also for Asian restaurant owners, I think you should work smart, not work just hard. You definitely want to provide the best food, but not just in Asian community, but you want to connect to the local community or the residents in Miami. And globally, I believe a lot of travelers fly to Miami this week just to attend the Sobe Wine Food Festival. So this will be amazing opportunities. So Mohammed, based on your experience, what type of like food and concept works best for Sobe? Like I don't believe all food works, right? So what?
Yeah, well, yeah. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do the fried food. You could also do sauteing food. You could also bring in food in the already made like a noodles and maybe do some heating there on a chafing day. So it's up to you. At the night events, there is an expectation that you will be doing some final touches on site. So I mean, if you want to do some kind of a roll that you want to fry or you want to you want to pan fry it, I think those are the good ideas. I've seen people serve a sample of fried rice. You can then think, how can you make it interesting, because everyone serves fried rice, right? So what is it that you can put on top of it, or what kind of a twist can you give it? You could do I mean, obviously sushi, you can never go wrong with it. It's easy to do, but storing sushi is not that easy. How do you store it and all that? So it's up to you. Whatever your restaurant is specialization is, we can give you some more ideas. Teddy can give you even better ideas. We can this year, Dr. Shu could take a video of some of the restaurants and the grand tasting, and also in the Asian night market, and he can share that with you. We can specifically provide you with what are some of those restaurants doing. So he can make like a 30-second video of maybe 10 different local restaurants, Asian restaurants that are serving food, and you could get an idea. We can even take pictures of their menu items and share with you. So this is a year to learn, I think.
Good idea, Mohammed. I'll definitely take your advice to take a lot of pictures, take a lot of videos to share with our members at Flora. Yeah, good. So, what are some common challenges like working at South Beach One Food Festival? Definitely not easy. Hard work for one night. Like a lot of challenges may happen. They will face. Can you share some of them?
Well, there's a challenge to, because obviously you got to be out of your restaurant. You're not there. You got to bring in, there is some labor cost because you got to bring in, two, three, four people with you. Getting there is challenge, but they help you a lot with the parking. They help you a lot with the load in, load out. Sometimes you got to spend at least 2 hours to get there with the traffic and get set up. You can, then you gotta obviously wait till the event is over before you can leave. So if for the event is from 7 or 6:30 till 10, you're looking at least from 5 to 12, like, at least 7 or 8 hour of commitment. Then fighting the traffic is a challenge. Getting on the beach where there's no water, there could be any challenge, something that your fryer is not working. But we got a team of people. We've been doing this for 25, 40 years.
Yeah.
We know how to overcome and make sure that our restaurants get set up. They have everything that they need. Because, when you got 3,000 or 4,000 people coming in, you want to be fast. You want to serve your product ready to go. There are some lines, but we obviously don't want lines to be way too long, because people pay a lot of money to get into these events. So they want to get served rather quickly. So you got to pick an item that is not very involved, an item where you can cook 20 portions at a time and out the door, right? Then make the next 20 so you can get the line moving fast. Again, I think words may not settle that well as maybe a video we can show you, or pictures of people lining up to get, whatever it is, tempura shrimp with a sauce. So how fast can you fry that and get that out of the way?
Right.
Other than that, I don't really see a lot of difficulties. Like I said, we have an amazing support system with the students, and we will help you out with as much as we can.
Good. One another question I ask for my friend is, because Flora is, to empower Asian American community with a prime focus on food and food service and restaurant business, but we still have members from all different industries, like for example, food supplies, grocery stores, banks, realtors, and like, how do they get involved if they are not really directly in the restaurant business? Can it be an exhibitor, or
Can it be what?
like, can I, participate as a business? Like, for example, I
Yeah,
have
exhibitor, right? You
food.
can be an exhibitor, but like I said, exhibitor have to pay money to be there.
Oh, they have to pay money.
They have to
Okay.
pay money, right?
So one of my friends has a cabinet business. So if they want to show their equipment, the cabinet, they have
Well,
to.
if it's not food and beverage related, then they really don't want you
Got
to
it, got
be
it,
there.
got it.
It has to be, like a food distributing company, right? So you
Okay.
got a company that's bringing product from China or
Uh,
Asia for the lack of, and you want them to come in and exhibit their product, then they have to have money to provide the, depending upon what location they're gonna get. And they also want exhibitors to be there all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At the grand tasting is the only place where you can be an exhibitor.
right.
You're not an exhibitor at the nighttime events because
Perfect.
that's,
Yeah.
it's a different feel for that. So if you go to, I mean, they have had, Dr. Shu, they've had companies doing patio furniture, but because they can put the patio furniture in the sand and people can see the brand. So if it's a cabinet maker, as long as it's related to maybe doing cabinets for the food and wine or maybe something related, but keep in mind that even as an exhibitor, even if you come on board and you're willing to pay whatever the money, sometimes the money may go up in thousands of dollars that they want from you because they're giving you real marketing, ground. They still want you to serve a food item.
I see.
You cannot be just in there, just not doing, you gotta serve either a drink or a food or something. That's the requirement to be an exhibitor.
Yeah, we want to keep the theme still like food and wine, honestly. Good, good. All right, so I think I have enough questions. So now we can open to Q&A. It is definitely my fault. It's not my fault. Like, I have faced a technical issue this morning at the campus. So my internet was not good. Some participants may dropped. So I'm going to open for Q&A. If you have any question you want to ask me and Professor Mohammad Qureshi, please feel free to do so. And you can always like ask us later. You have my contact information. Anyone want to ask questions? Don't be shy. Harley, can you unmute yourself?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah.
Great presentation. I was curious if, besides the Asian night market, which looks really interesting, if you recommend any other events during the SOBE Wine and Food Festival.
Harley, you were talking as a customer, a guest, or as a restaurant owner, business owner?
From the restaurant owner's perspective.
Okay.
Well, we have grand tasting on Saturday and Sunday. We have many events where the food is being served. But usually those events are around a theme, like we have steak and whiskey. So if you're interested in serving steak at a steak and whiskey, we can connect you with them. Some events are organized around personalities because they're doing a brunch or a cookout. So I invite you to look at the website, look at all the events, and then say, hey, this event, again, we don't know what the 2026 events would be like, but we're pretty flexible, I mean, as long as you could say that I want to be at this event because this matches with, with what I want to do, we will definitely look into it. I can't promise, or Dr. Shu and we cannot promise you'll get into that event. We were trying to bring in more general events where the local restaurants participate, right? And obviously Asian night market is more focusing on the Asian food. Grand tasting is open to any kind of food, and that's Saturday and Sunday. And there you're exposed to the largest number of people is at the grand tasting. Because we have about 6,000 people who buy the tickets, and then we got lots of other people who were in there. So obviously that's based on the exposure. Some events we only sell maybe 300 or 400 tickets. Again, the exposure is not as big, right? So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I'm gonna have to look into the other events,
Yes,
particularly
for
the
sure.
night market.
Harley, I
Thank
think
you.
Harley, you have a restaurant organic food, right? So there's some other events I recommend. There's a lot of like big and small events. For example, Friday I'm going to volunteer at the Best of Best, which is in a hotel, Fontainebleau. A lot of vendors too. I don't know, like they get paid to do that. Maybe not. Mohammed, do you know? Best of Best. I also see a lot of restaurants participating.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. The voice
Can you
cut.
hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. What was your
The
question?
best, I was talking about Best of the Best.
Oh, best of the best. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
best of the best is at the Fontainebleau. Best of the best provides some of the best wineries. The ticket is, I believe, now $450 per person. And the
it's very
chefs
high.
that are invited in best of the best, they have to be well-known chefs, well-known restaurants, high-end. Because remember, two people coming to that event is spending close to $900, you know. So the kind of food, the kind of level, you know, it goes very high. Not that I'm saying that people here cannot do best of the best. If you're interested in best of the best to participate, you have to provide, you know, again, your bio, your experience, your exposure, you know, the level of the restaurant that you have. But it's mainly very high-end wines and high-end food samples. It's a
Already,
walk-around
okay.
event. It's in Fontainebleau. It's indoor. It's not on the beach, and it's obviously, you know, I expect people to you know, participating chefs to be at you know, at a level where people will pay, you know, feel like they're paying for $450 per person.
Harley, you know, Harley has managed a farm before, organic farm, and I think he has, you know, organic restaurant. But another event I recommend is I don't know, it's Saturday or Sunday. There's a farmers market, brunch, in Design District. So just definitely take a look at that event too. I've met owners from farms or like farmers markets. So yeah. Any other questions? Even not from the business perspective as a guest. All right, so I think you're shy. You can ask me any questions later. Okay. So I want to, Mohammed, thank you so much for like spending time with us this morning. I know it's a little early. Thank you so much. I would like to like organize a lot of different educational webinar seminars for our members of Florida Asian American Restaurant Alliance. Talking about this group is a nonprofit corporation registered in Florida. We want to empower the Asian American business owners with a prime focus on hospitality and tourism, restaurant, and food service industry. Together, we promote, educate, advocate, and grow. We, on behalf of the board members, I want to encourage you to check us out, join our organizations, and so you can take advantage of a lot of different events we're doing. So this is all the events we did in the past. We did community events, celebration of Lunar New Year's, you know, a lot of things that can help you. So stay tuned, and I want to mention the exclusive 20% discounts for two events, both on Sunday, Asian Night Market, and Grand Tasting Village on Sunday. So I will be at the Asian Night Market. Mohammed, I think you will be there too.
I'll be there.
Good.
I'll be
So
glad
if
to
you
meet
use-
up with you.
Yeah, if you use this discount code Flora20, you will receive 20% discount. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you there. Stay tuned, connect with us. So here,
And don't wait to buy the tickets, because once the tickets number reach 80% of the capacity, they sometimes raise the pricing. It's like a dynamic pricing. So I've noticed that they've raised pricing for Saturday grand tasting already. That's why they're giving only discount for Sunday, because Saturday we already reached 6,000 people there. So I would
Great.
just say that, if you're planning to attend, please, purchase your ticket with the discount rather soon. Because it's this week. It's exciting.
yeah. So I'll see you there on beach. All right.
Yes, see you on the beach.
Yeah.
Thank you all, and it was a
Thank you
pleasure
all.
talking with you.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.